Hi, this is Candy, and I'm here today to talk to you about being a single black mom. Being a single mom is not a white thing, it's not a black thing, it's a universal thing. I say single black mom because that's what I am, and that's what I can relate to. First, I want to start off by saying I have two sons, 21-year-old BJ and 12-year-old Kaleo, and I had to raise them both by myself. Yes, they do have different fathers. Did I plan on not being with their fathers when I conceived them? No, never crossed my mind that that would happen. But that's the boat I'm in, and that's what I had to work with. And I'm going to tell you, I love my boys. I love my boys. I grew up in foster homes, so these are the first kids that I know. I mean, the first real people that I know that are mine. They're related to me. The same blood that's running through their veins is running through mine. There's no doubt about it. And so I think I took being a mother to a different level because of that. Because I wanted them to have the love and nurturing that I did not get. Was my life terrible as a foster child? No, but you still always have that feeling of don't belong, like you're not really accepted. And so I knew I wanted my kids to know every single day that I love them and I'm there for them. And I did as much things with them and I still do as much things with them as I possibly can. We do things that are fun. I do not take any mess from them. No, I don't, because I have boys and you can't play when it comes to that. I knew that with boys, especially in these urban streets, if you drop the ball, they're going to become a product of the street, and I did not want that. So I did things with them to keep them occupied so that they weren't thinking about the streets. I mean, my 12-year-old, he still has a way to go. He's still like I'm up under mommy boy, but I'm trying to educate him as to what you do not want to do, what it will get you to be in those streets. Either you're going to be dead or you're going to be in jail. And I know because I'm a corrections officer, I work in the jail. I see it. I see these young boys coming in and they do not care about anything. They were not taught anything. And I don't know what to blame that on. I don't know if you should blame that on the mothers having them so young and not really nurturing, not because they don't want to, but because they're too immature to really take on that role. I don't know if it's that, if it's because so many of these boys don't have fathers. A lot of these boys do have fathers, but their fathers are incarcerated, so they want to emulate their father and they end up going that way. I don't know what it is, but I expose my children and educate them on the streets just as well as I want them to be educated in the books. So that to me makes a huge difference. I have a 21-year-old son, like I said, and he went through like a 5-month spell where he wasn't doing anything. He would call my sister every now and then when he needs his phone, make sure his phone is turned on, and ask if he could cut her grass or does she need a babysitter. But I'm like, that's no life. You don't want to do that. You're 20 years old at the time when he left for school. You're 20 years old. You don't want to do that. You want to set yourself up to be successful. So he did 1 year of college. He didn't want to finish college. Okay. But you're not going to keep sitting around here doing nothing. So I sent him to Job Corps. Of course, I could make him go because he's 20. He's an adult. I can't make him do something he really doesn't want to do. But being a strong mother that I am, I convinced him that that's what he needs to do. And he couldn't go to the Job Corps that's right here in our town. He couldn't go to the Job Corps that's an hour away because he has family there. He has family here. I don't want him discouraged. So he went to Vermont. And that's the best thing I did. He was mad at me for a little while, but that's the best thing I did. He is going to graduate from his trade program as a welder, graduate from the one in Vermont, and then they're going to send him to Missouri for advanced training. With that, he's going to be in the union. He didn't want to do that, but he knows that's the best thing to do, so he's doing it. Why? Because he has a mother that is leading him the right way. I just couldn't see him out on the streets and getting into wrong things and be at the wrong place at the wrong time. I mean, when you're out there in the streets, you don't know what You could be just an innocent bystander and somebody do a drive-by and you're gone because you're out there hanging with the wrong crowd. So I was very stern in that. You're getting out of here because the man needs to work. My 12-year-old, he's still very young. He's just starting the 7th grade. So he hasn't tried to really spread his wings out yet, but he knows what it is in the streets. He's seen his his older brother, and you know, and he's proud of him too. He's proud of his big brother, and he's gonna go to medical school. That's his dream. I have to encourage that. I try to buy him all the medical books I can find, and I try to just educate him as well. It's not just about educating. It's about sharing your life with your kids. You have to be very present. You have to be very involved in the things they do. I mean, my son's kids the teachers at his school, I don't even have to go to the principal's office anymore when I come there because they know who I am when I'm coming. One year I got the Parent of the Year award. I wasn't expecting that at all. I'm just doing what I need to do. I just want to be present in my kid's life. My oldest son, when he was in the 3rd or 4th grade, I was at his school so much they gave me a job teaching the after school program. But I keep saying but that's just, I embraced it. And I was a young mother. I was 22 years old when I had my oldest son. I just wanted to be there in his life and do whatever I could to make sure that I don't lose him to the streets. Did I do everything right? Of course I did not, but I did a whole lot of things right. I made sure I stayed on him. I made sure I was firm. I made sure I believed in spankings. I spanked my boys when they were little. I spanked them because they were gonna be bigger than me. My oldest son is 6'3". Ain't no way in the world I'm gonna start chastising him or getting on him when he's 15. It's too late at that point. You have to do it when they're small. And I'm not saying you have to beat your kids up, but it does not hurt them to smack them on their butt when they do something wrong. It's not, and you don't have to pop them every time they do something wrong, but you'll know something extreme that they did that's a big no-no. Oh no, you let them know that you're not playing that. I never cuss my kids out like I see a lot of parents doing. I grew up in foster homes, but even the 2 foster homes I was in, I was very fortunate to only be in 2. There wasn't cussing and all that stuff in the household. So it's not necessary. It's not necessary. And if you're cussing your kids out while they're young and as they get older, when they get older and really realize what you were doing, they're not going to respect you. They just not. I don't believe that they will. But that was one of the things. That's some of the things that I did as a single mother. And I did things with them. I ride the bikes with them. Go to the movies. When I don't have any money, go to Walmart. When they used to have Blockbuster, I used to go to Blockbuster every Friday and buy the used DVDs. And Friday we would come home. We would pick one DVD for everybody. So that was $15 plus tax I had to spend. And we would come home and have a movie day. There's always something you can do, whether you have a small budget to work with or a larger budget to work with. Now that I'm a corrections officer and I can afford a little bit more, we just went to Texas this past May. Even though my oldest son, he took off with his cousins at his age. I think the whole 6 days we're there, I saw him maybe 4 hours out of the whole time. But that's okay. He still got to see another part of the world. I took my kids to Canada, take them down south, Atlanta, North Carolina, Maryland. We go. Rhode Island, we're gone. We're always trying to do something. And again, if you don't have the money, you can do staycations. Go to the park and play tennis with your kids. Go roller skating with your kids. There are things that you can do that are not expensive to do. As long as you're just spending that quality time, even if it's just watching a movie on TV. Okay, 4 o'clock, my favorite movie, The Wiz, is coming on, so we're gonna all sit down and watch The Wiz. They might not want to do it, but guess what? You are spending that time with them, and that's what's important. Even if you just go to the library and you everybody pick out their favorite book, and we read our books, and then we talk about the books with one another. There's always something to do. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I would not trade it for anything. Yes, there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears being a single mother, especially of two boys, that I have to teach how to be men. And I do believe that women can teach boys how to be men. I also believe there are things that a man can explain because they've gone through it to a boy more, because we can't possibly know what it feels like to go through certain things that men go through, but we can definitely teach our boys how to be men. Trust me, I did it. I have a 21-year-old man, and he's awesome. He is awesome. I'm not saying it because he's my kid, but he's a great kid, and I'm very grateful to God that he turned out that way. I did a great job. I did a great job on him. And so if we can get Kaleo to that level, get him through medical school like he wants to do, then I will have done my job. And guess what? When you love your kids, trust me, they're going to show you love in return as they get older, and they're going to always take care of mom. There's a lot of guys out here who are deadbeat dads to their kids, but they still do for their mama, because mama is usually the one that's there. So, you guys, if you're a single mother, do not give up. When I first became a mother, I had nothing. Not saying I have a whole lot now. I don't, but I'm very fortunate that I have the type of job that if I need, my youngest son just went to a week away camp. $500. It cost $500 for 5 days. He left on Monday and came back Friday. $500. Plus I had to buy all the things that he needed. The sleeping bag, the toiletries, spending money. But guess what? I had a type of job, thankfully, because everybody doesn't have that type of job, where I can say, I need to make an extra $1,000 this month. And I can do it. I'll be tired, but I can do it. So don't give up. Hang on in there with your kids. Eventually they're going to grow up, and it'll be all worth it in the end. It'll be all worth it in the end. I can give y'all some tips if you want them. So if you want some tips, leave me some comments. I'll get back at you. If you haven't, I'm telling you, I know a lot of solutions for a lot of problems. If you have questions that you want to ask me, ask me. I will get back to you. Have a good day, single mom.